process of getting 3 or 4 bids, and I just wanted to ask if we were to bring those before you guys, if that was something you could consider. Okay. Thank you.
On this inoculation, what y'all provide kind of inoculation down there? Anything? I know y'all, I got the shingle shot down there.
We have all kind of vaccines, DTAP, polio, MMR, chickenpox, shingles, flu shots, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, meningitis, the list goes on.
How much is this shingle shot? I mean, you told me one time that,
They're around $200 for one.
okay, but they got some program if the insurance don't cover it, didn't you tell me something about it?
If you, I'm not sure if that's still available. That was like the federal government, it was a program through them where if you didn't have any insurance or your insurance didn't pay for it, then you could get it for $22, I think.
$20-something, that's what.
But I don't
is that
know if
still in
it's,
effect?
I'm not sure.
Get the check on it, from somebody asked me about that this morning.
I can. I'll let you
A
know.
lot of insurance is worse than that. Really.
Yeah, but what she's talking about right there, if your insurance, if you hadn't got insurance, and you had the insurance that you got don't pay for it, you get.
Yeah, I heard it, but I'm
$22.
saying if you do have insurance that pays for it, chances are good you're gonna pay more than that in copay. That's my point.
Exactly.
Before you go, Ms. Coley, I've got a technical question I'd like to ask you.
Yes, sir.
I've heard around about that the general way of cleaning mold
Yes, sir.
is chlorine,
Yes, sir.
Clorox. But I also heard that the very best is hydrogen peroxide.
Yes, sir.
And that is true.
You can do
Yeah.
both ways, yes, sir.
But
That's
the,
very true.
Hydrogen
the
peroxide.
chlorine has a downfall. It'll leach out your cover.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well,
that hydrogen peroxide will not.
and if you have a large area, we always recommend that you hire somebody to do it, because
Contamination,
you
you don't wanna
can
get.
make yourself sick even with the chlorine.
Yeah.
So if it's a large area, but we do recommend it's a diluted solution of chlorine and that you spray it. But that you wear protective, a mask to keep from inhaling the vapors.
I just want to verify that.
But
hydrogen peroxide.
first and foremost, you gotta get rid of the source of the moisture. So,
Yeah,
Or
well,
else
just
it's
roll the
gonna come
rug back, coat one side, coat the floor, roll it up, hit the top of it, you got it. That peroxide, it's gonna get to it.
Mr. Ashby,
Mr. Ashby ain't here, he's with his wife and doctor, but I know a lot of this stuff's gonna be done later on Thursday about the planning and zoning, he can talk about it then. There's one other issue he wanted me to bring up, I talked to him this morning, is about the zoning issues out here at, the new plants that's come in. No one's ever done that yet, and we need to have that done, because why, if we had done it 4 times, we could have charged them for a rezoning. Now we can't because the zoning hasn't been done. So the zoning has got to be completed so we can act on it,
On the fees. I
on the
got you.
fees. We can't act on the fees because right now the zoning is agricultural. And we can't change that till y'all change it, and you gotta change it in the way y'all have to change it. If you change it, a conditional use, we'd rather for you to change it to conditional use to industrial. Then that way we can do it that way, and then they get charged a little more. We can collect taxes on that property.
Which ones are these? Which applications?
Yeah, the application.
Which ones?
The,
solar farm.
the.
Helio Sage.
Those right now are being, we've gone with the text amendment because while you can make a few extra dollars by changing it to industrial. We talked about it, you really reset the property uses 10, 15, 20 years from now, which opens it up to those properties to whole
that's what
other
I'm
different
talking about.
uses. For example, if you rezone it, so it was being advertised as a text amendment, so that all you're doing is
Exactly.
allowing solar farms into agriculture. And the board will have an option at that public hearing, and we're getting some information for you about what conditions you might put on there. In other words, barriers, things like that. But right now, it's proposed in the text amendment. It may cost you a few dollars, but it does protect the property owners down. We're not taking the
Right.
solar farm properties and moving them over to industrial.
That's exactly right. They're being advertised.
How is that protecting the property owners?
Because
Don't let
without,
them walk
it's a
right
surrounding
through it.
property.
What?
If you change the property zoning to obviously industrial, it opens up the future use of that property to a whole lot of uses that aren't otherwise contemplated. These are agriculture right now. So you're making a text change just to allow solar farms into the agricultural area. You're not changing the agricultural zoning to the industrial.
The county as a whole, how would it, what effect would it have on the county as a whole? In other words, industrial would be industry, right?
Correct.
This is him
And wouldn't
now.
that be available?
Well, of course, you don't, on a case-by-case basis, you wouldn't know. By leaving it as a text amendment, someone can still come in later and ask for a zoning change. But in terms of what the solar farm is doing and their applications, they would prefer to be considered a conditional use. And that's in their emails to you. They want to be considered a conditional use as opposed to a change of zoning.
Why?
I think they put it in there because I think for their investment portfolio or their reporting, it apparently made better sense. And it's a more limited change as opposed to a greater change.
And it won't affect the neighbor, right?
That's correct.
That's right.
It'll have little effect on the neighbors other than to allow the solar farms in, which obviously you all wanted done, but it doesn't change the zoning.
Well, we had,
I think I
the
might-
process, we voted in industrial zoning last December.
I think that change might have come from a conversation I was having with them. That, basically where they're going into is a residential area now. And, so I was saying that since you're gonna be stable, you're not gonna be, like a lot of industry come in and say, I wanna get in that industrial area. So if I wanna get the property next door, I can expand and move, and I don't have to be limited by it before I invest in it first. So I was suggesting to them that since we have people in nice homes close by, that we need to retain that residential area, and I think that's where that request came from. 'Cause we had a
I don't know the why, but the message I got was from the applicant and
Yeah.
in terms of communication.
That's what y'all asking for too.
That's right. What we asked for, it's conditional use of the land is changed.
Yeah,
Is all we're saying. It's not just agricultural now, it's.
that's right, and you all wanna get that done where you tax on that basis.
Well, actually, that will tax them a little higher, but
Yeah.
we're not after that. What we have to know is the zoning. Because right now, they zone agricultural. I mean, they're not supposed to
Which
be in
will
that.
tax higher, a conditional use for, heated sage or industrial?
Industrial is higher in
Exactly.
value when it comes
You
to
gonna
tax.
penalize everybody around.
Not really, you're only talking about that one parcel.
Yeah, but we've already agreed on, we've already agreed on the taxing situation that's for the dollar amount.
Yeah.
Use.
Yeah.
But as far as
Yeah,
the
we have.
taxes are,
Yeah.
we agreed on the
So
plan,
they
we
don't
didn't agree on the property. You know,
The only thing we
property
did
was quite a bit bigger.
Turn the money around when we got it up front.
There you go.
Yeah.
But it's already been up.
It's already done.
Yes.
It's in
If you
agreement.
want to, if the commission votes to treat it as a rezoning, I can also get that advertising done by the April, sufficient time for the April 7th meeting, and we'll put signs out there.
It
Now, do
ain't,
what
it
you
ain't
want.
it ain't necessary, we can do it this way, we get it
We
moved
do it
right on
when
Yeah,
there.
that's all we have to do, you
Yeah.
know, we
We
don't
done
know.
agreed on the tax amount anyway, so what difference it's gonna make?
That's right.
Well,
If you blow this thing up, you're
y'all
gonna
agreed
get
on the
tied up in
taxes.
another year.
Y'all-
hassle.
That's right.
y'all
You gonna
agreed
go
on
wrong.
taxes for the
Let's go
whole
on and
property,
do it.
I mean,
Do it,
for
be
the
done
whole
with it.
project. As far as the land, you have, I mean, they have, no, I mean, they're private individuals, you're not, your taxing that you did is on the industrial part.
That's right.
The landowners are separate, they're
Right.
private individuals.
We didn't wanna include them in there.
Yeah.
That's why they
There's
took.
no use penalize them.
What, I mean, I don't know why you say
$500 an
penalize.
acre annual
They are
rent,
being
it's not
paid,
exactly
the
penalized.
landowners are being paid, they won't tell you how much money they get on leaves on that property.
No,
They're not, I mean, them landowners gonna come
Right,
away
gonna let
with
them
something,
come away.
you know they gonna come away with something.
The
they're gonna come away with a pile.
different solar companies have been
see,
soliciting
Solar
people
company
with
will
more
pay
than 100
whatever
acres
the
to
additional
$500
cost
an acre
is to
rent.
rent.
We just met the money people.
Okay.
The other people were brokers and whatever you wanna call them. Some people say shysters and gamblers and whatever. But we just met the money people the last time we met with them.
Yeah.
Still do, yeah.
That's right. They were nice people. And
Thanks, sir.
actually, she asked some other questions concerning, I think she's interested in some other things.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, we talked to them before y'all even talked to them. It was over there, but, I mean, that's it. We don't wanna get into that one.
Yeah.
No, none about that.
Yeah.
All right, the business
Okay.
part. C.O.L.A, Sheriff Department, per Mr. Watson, what you got on your mind here, sir?
We had asked the attorney for an opinion as to whether or not constitutional officers could handle their salaries as they see fit as far as raises are concerned, or whether or not, since they are under our civil service operation, whether or not we control that. And without trying to steal our attorney's thunder, would you please explain?
Okay, section 1 and 2 address both of those. I'm going to have you go to section 2 first. This was done, Mr. Watson asked me to make sure I had it done, so I did this sometime earlier. Interestingly, there's a 1992 statute that says, on page 2, it's in bold, except as otherwise provided. It's within the sole discretion of the governing authority of the county to fix the compensation
Excuse
received
me,
by each
what
employee.
section are you in?
I'm sorry, tab 2.
Tab 2, I was in 1, all right.
I'm sorry, page 2.
Page 2, all right.
All right? There's one local law that applies to one sheriff in the state of Georgia. That's the local law that applies to the Twiggs County Sheriff. And in that, it says that this board, as the ultimate power of this county, has a sole discretion to fix the compensation received by each member in the sheriff's office. You were and are the only county,
When was that law enacted?
1992.
I
Now,
know what.
I don't, so that's good. Now, turn over to page 1, tab 1, excuse me, because this is what was delivered to my office to give to you all, and that's a letter from Mr. Epps. And that concerns 2 items, which one item this board has been requesting, especially Mr. Fowler, which was the compensation for in-county mileage. But he also delivered the notice of intent on local legislation to repeal that 1992 statute, which he and Mr. Lucas are doing. So that Mr. Mitchum will now be treated apparently as the other 158 sheriffs are in Georgia. But I'm sorry, Mr. Watson, it happened after I wrote the brief, which is why there's some overlap.
Don't need to apologize to me, I just want to know
Let
what
me
it is.
ask you
That's
this.
it.
What does he plan to replace that in-county mileage with?
Oh, that's
I was just
also,
putting the estimate.
if you'll turn over the copy of your
Maybe
bill
y'all
is
told
right
me to
there.
see if we get that.
Tab 1, and it comes out to be the 3rd page in tab 1. And basically, it's replacing that section 9, which we finally got the legislature.
Number 3,
Tab 1.
I'm in tab 1.
You got a first page being the letter from Mr. Epps.
Uh-huh,
Second being a notice of introduction.
no, I don't have that one.
Well, I apologize, and I've done a bad job copying. Please take mine.
Oh,
There it is right there.
It's in the front,
Yeah.
there we go, there we go.
Page
Gotcha.
1.
All right.
One more over.
Section 9.
That's that section 9, that you all talking, why can't we fix it with House rule? Well, the legislative council finally looked at it and agreed you can't. So this is the local rule, excuse me, local law that's coming in. Basically, the county commissioners will receive 2 types of additional compensation. 9A, you're going to immediately receive, upon passage of this particular ordinance, $150 a month for carrying out your official duties.
The in and outside of Twiggs.
We got to produce, so.
No. We'll start just with 9A, just a flat $150 a month. Okay, now,
That's inside the county.
that's
Outside
in,
too.
out, upside down, inside out.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Yep,
We already covered outside the county by mileage.
correct.
Not according to this.
It's gonna change.
There's this within and outside.
Did this change outside the county?
Says it does.
Let me,
Line 13.
I got you, but let's go through the whole thing. Yeah, I believe the answer is no, for this reason. All right, going with 9A, in addition to your regular compensation, Each of you receives an expense allowance of $150 a month for carrying out your official duties within and outside Twiggs County. I'm on line 13, but within Georgia, including seminars and other training meetings. All right, the expense should be paid from the funds of Twiggs County. In addition, there's section B. Any member of the Board of the Commissioners, including the chair, may be reimbursed for actual expenses incurred in carrying out his or her official duties in case of an emergency or some other cause in addition to the funds provided in subsection A, provided that additional, I'm putting that word in there, reimbursement is documented by an itemized verified account. So you get up to $150 a month without submitting any itemization. After that, you must submit itemization, and it must be approved by a majority of the members of the Board of Commissioners.
Effective July 1.
Right.
Effective July 1, 015.
It says in the case of an emergency or some other cause in addition. What do you mean by some other cause?
It can be any other cause.
Anything.
It could be.
In other words, if you go
In other words,
to annual
you say-
meeting in Savannah as an example, it's not very beneficial, but,
Well, if you and two others believe it is, it'll be approved.
it's not clear though. It says in the case of an emergency or some other cause,
Right. Keep going.
in addition to the funds.
Right. Provided that such reimbursement is documented, verified, and such reimbursement is approved by a majority of the members of the Board of Commissioners, which apparently, I think the legislature wisely has said, put it back in your hands. If three of you think this is a sufficient cause,
Not two.
well, we've defined that as three. So it said majority of the Board
Yeah,
of
we've done that,
Commissioners, and
right.
you have already by resolution addressed
Let's
that
get back
last
to this
time.
$150.
Right,
You get this $150 anyway, if you don't do nothing, I mean,
that's
gonna.
correct.
That's right. That's right. If
Well,
you
I don't
do
think any
nothing,
of you are doing nothing.
Sure right. Sure right.
I will not go there, Mr. Washington, thank you. But my point to you is, yes, you're getting an expense allowance of $150 a month. All right? And you can get additional monies if you put in an itemization, verified itemization, and a majority of the board approves.
And that itemization got to be outside.
It didn't say that.
Oh,
Say that.
Don't say it.
it say inside and outside the county.
No, because it doesn't limit it, as I read it, to either in
In
or
or
out.
out.
And again, two-edged sword. If it doesn't
Oh, we have
mention,
forward mileage out inside the county.
I'm sorry, sir?
We
Oh,
get away
have
from
forward
mileage.
mileage inside the county.
Mr. Epps wanted to do was get you away from your mileage
Get
by
you
giving
away.
you, by giving you a flat $150 a
That
month.
$150 a month.
Well, he doesn't really get away from it if he's got that clause towards the end there, or the other cause.
Well, if you go past $150 a month, you ain't got to go past.
Oh, no. I just start keeping up with mine or any mileage last 3 months.
It doesn't preclude you from doing
But you're
that.
talking about
That's my point.
$150.
It doesn't, that's why I don't.
At the height of the gas, it cost me $70 to fill up my vehicle. And I was blowing that a week. I mean, I'm doing more than a tank a week. And that was in the county, especially if I had equipment. And then after that, you go to other places, running back and forth, making this sort of thing. But what it says, yes.
But what you're saying is, if you're gonna get reimbursed $150 a month regardless.
Yes.
So if y'all decide to have a meeting over here at the restaurant, y'all get together and have a meeting at y'all expense, whatever, regardless of what y'all meet over there, and you submit a budget that it costs you, your lunch was, each one of y'all lunch was $10. If you itemize that and bring it back to the board, and you say, I'm gonna submit this, it costs us $10, and if 3 of y'all say, okay, we're gonna be reimbursed, it's no question asked. Now, if 3 of y'all say, no, we're not gonna agree on this, then you don't get reimbursed. So it just depends. If you want to get reimbursed for the $10 to pay for your lunch, you get it. If not, y'all vote on to get it, you don't. But that's outside of, regardless of where it is, across the street, outside the county, or another city. Is
Now,
that correct? Am I correct?
That's what you stated. That's what you stated. But what I'm saying here, it stipulates inside the county, very, very clearly. All right. Then it mentions in the other section of the bill, it mentions emergencies and what have you.
County emergency meeting held lunch.
Well, if the bill pass, they pass the bill, so what, and then you gonna be able to do that.
Mr.
No.
Bond, may I address your hypothetical?
Yeah, if it goes through the legislature.
Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Mr. Bond?
Mm-hmm.
May I address your hypothetical? Let's assume Mr. Bond can account, and does account, for $70 worth of gas each month. Up to 150, he already gets reimbursed for. He may still come in
Right.
with a verified itemization for the additional gas money he spends. And if three of you, if obviously three approve it, he will be reimbursed.
I see what you're saying.
I hope I've addressed it, Mr. Bond.
You have to a large degree. I'm just saying, well, you know, this thing is something you do. I never made money out of it anyway. It always costs. You know that when you get in, especially if you've been here before. But anyway, I'm just saying that it wouldn't hurt for clarification to be put, you know. I get it, you know.
This business of getting back to the sheriff's, being the sole arbiter of this salaries of his employees. Would local legislation pass before this overrule this? Home rule? Home rule, if we.
Yeah, the local,
adopt
yes,
it-
the 1992 law overruled home rule as it applied to this county. In other words, it took this out. In fact, it gave the county commissioners in 1992 more power than any other board had in the state with respect to the sheriff's salaries. Now, what they've come back, and just so the board knows, these items were delivered to me. I didn't get any call. I mean, the only thing I had was Mr. Fowler wanted us to address that mileage. Nobody asked me.
Well, they asked me to.
Right. Well, other than us sending up our resolution, nobody called and say, hey, here's what we're doing, or what's your input? On Friday, Mr. Epps walked into my office and said, here you go. But what he came in and said, it was there repealing that 1992 law. And now the sheriff.
We signed a resolution saying that we would go with the state mileage thing inside the county. All of us signed.
Well, that was the law passed, the law passed that state.
Yes.
You
That
see,
wasn't
And Epps came back and said, this is what we're gonna do.
that's right,
Right.
that's right, that's what he said. Him and the
He
senator,
fixed the sheriff's got
Yeah,
more
that's what
votes
they
than we
said.
got.
That's right.
He's right, he does.
So the effective, with the sheriff's issue, effectively what's going to happen is.
Well, if they're gonna put it in front of the legislature, ain't nothing we can do about it anyway.
No, there's not.
How does this tie in with their civil service?
And that goes, when their civil service, that goes back to the benefits they receive in terms of.
In other words, if they are a part of our civil service.
Right.
Do we have nothing to say about how much they get paid?
How much they
If
get
they
paid,
put
that's
it in front
correct.
of the legislature, they.
Now, you control the ultimate person.
It helped defray some of this.
I will check on
It
that,
raised
I know the
the
sheriff's-
overall policy
I
side.
understand.
but I'll find out about the others.
And
Boy,
what
this
is
one
the
I have
remedy
run myself
when,
right.
a constitutional officer starts overspending his budget? What is the remedy?
You all do not have to approve it.
We don't approve it anyway.
Well, you approve a lump sum, as I understand the budgetary
Right, and let's
process.
suppose he spends out September 12th. Now what?
And
The
that's volunteer time up at the probate court.
the law said
I don't
that.
think probate court will do it.
No, that's why I used to go to jail, because that lawyer will come down and get after me.
I'm talking about if the law said that if they go over their budget and they will have to go before they have to prove to us that they need that money, they have to go before the judge. the judge gonna have to make the decision.
And they will.
Yeah, that's the
And
law.
where do we get the money, borrow it?
The only thing they said, those 4 officers gonna have to be what? Those 4 of the 4 constitutional officers gonna have to be
Funded.
funded. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, or either over.
We're only gonna have a problem with one.
And so that's it. But they got to verify and show that they needed the funding, and they have to go before the judge.
The Superior Court.
They have to go before the Superior Court judge.
The sheriff's department has to be 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, but anyway, they have to go before the judge, and when they go beyond that budget, come in and say we don't have no money that we got to operate. They got to show the judge where they spent that money. They got to show the judge where they did.
And the taxpayers gotta come up with it.
We got to come up, and the judge say, okay, you got to fund that off. You got to fund. You got to come up with the money.
Okay.
It is-
What do we need to
okay.
do, sir?
There's nothing to do.
Well, you
1
can
and
see-
2 are just
you see that-
work
you
for
see that
you.
about it.
Is it projected to be July 1 in both cases?
I apologize, what?
In both cases, is it projected to be July 1?
Yeah.
Now we got to do a resolution for the budget.
The tab
We
3,
ain't got a budget.
in the tab 3 is just a notice you all are asking about the publication of the zoning on the solar farms. That has been published, or will be published in the Twiggs County paper this week. So that is set for April
How about the
7th.
publishing that you done for the budget?
I'm sorry?
We're gonna have to do that again now that we,
Now, the budget, you, as I understood it on the budget, you've started the hearing, you just suspended it, and you will pick it up later, so you're not re-announcing any, you
we
just
ain't gonna do
suspended.
nothing else.
No, you're okay
We're
there.
asking for a legal opinion.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
address that third and
That's
next.
correct. Number 4 is the, Mr. Bond had requested a simple purchase sale agreement. Not only, you've got one in the binding, and each of you should have one on the backside tucked in if you need to copy it. I would encourage you that if it was gonna be used, give me a ring and we'll get the blanks filled in correctly. But that gives you a sample for you to use in the back, and one within your binder. And I would,
What are you talking about now?
I'm sorry, tab 4.
Uh-huh.
Is a simple purchase sale agreement. But in the back envelope of your booklet, there should be a separate purchase sale agreement, just loose for you to have, either make copies of or, keep in your file. And
All I'm gonna do is buy some dirt.
there you go.
Oh, my God.
Tab 5 has some items of legal and some of personnel, which I would suggest you hold for executive session.
Mr.
Bart,
Attorney,
today.
I assure you, within 15 minutes after executive session, a certain person will be telling anybody that wants to hear it exactly what happened. So I think you ought to order this open session. Because if people go, it's gonna be
I
passed
have-
on.
No, you expose yourself to too much. If it comes out in a clandestine effort, it can always be, most times when people tell something they heard, they usually get it mixed up. That's a point of challenge. But if you sit here and throw all your legal work out to everybody to hear, that's why you have executive session.
Well, you're right there, put a good point there, Mr. Bond.
What were you talking about for us to hold to executive session?
So we've talked about most of tab 5, but there's some elements of tab 5 which provide pending legal, which I would prefer to discuss in executive session.
All right, next issue is the Lowe's account.
Yeah.
I want to discuss that. We have presently,
Can I interrupt before we get started? So this right here with this stuff going up there, we don't need to do anything.
No, Mr. Epps and Mr. Lucas are taking them all up. They've put it in a form that the two of them are going to present, and that's what they're going to do.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Bond.
okay, Lowe's account, we have an account where we go there to buy, replacement equipment or things similar. What I determined, they're operating on an old mainframe deal. And the mainframe deal on their computer system, to get our account, you're gonna have to go, just like you're going down a railroad track. You can't get to tile 5 unless you put something in tile 4, 3, 4, then you got 5. You gotta go all that to get down to where our county is. There's only one person up there that can handle the machine. You got 2 or 3 people there when you go in and say, Twiggs County, this is what we're purchasing. You get them, they go try to find that person, or worse still, they try to handle it themselves. All right? Then it comes up to a whole hassle of wait. We're gonna call Mr. Mercer 4 times, and we get back, and they finally get somebody to do it, and then you're out of there. Most times, rather than get tied up, I go ahead and pay for it personally and get reimbursed from the county. But the same kind of stuff that we purchase can be purchased, and it's a little bit cheaper, ain't that much stuff, at Home Depot, which is about a mile from up there. And it just creates a hassle to go through that every time. Mr. Mercer will tell you, every time we go there, we have to call him on the phone, then they call back, and you're there for 35, 40 minutes, an hour. And I just don't have that kind of time. See, our purchasing man is out. What's his name? Mr. Wembley. You know, is out sick. He ain't coming back, I don't think. But anyway, I want to change that to Home Depot. And I went by there and checked with Home Depot, got their price, compared a few of them of mine. And they have the new system. It is a new system. That system, they use 20 years old, but it isn't that mainframe system. It's a center-based computer system. You go from one point to the other. And I was telling the girl, I said, what you have to do, every blank that comes up, you have to fill in and put a check, X mark or something to get you down to where you hit us. And I thought I was happy, but she got all understood. So we just do it to see if it worked. Then it worked as she was. I wasn't trained this way. No, she wasn't trained on that machine. Because most people don't have them anymore. And why in the world they got them, I don't know. And I think I explained that system here once on my Blackboard business here. But that's what I want to go ahead and change and just stop all that happening. They hide my Blackboard from me.
Don't look at me.
I want to buy one for whoever did it.
Well, that's my motion, Mr. Chairman, that we purchase from the other dealer.
And we got to count at both places.
I don't know where we got both places, do we?
We don't have one Home Depot.
No.
Is there any advantage to having an account as opposed to a 5% credit card?
I don't know about those credit cards.
Well, I have one for Home Depot and one for Lowe's both. And you just go through. The only thing is, I get a little bit of a hassle trying to use my gate card, you know, and I don't know if that would create a hassle on trying to buy something for the county or not, because the computer don't know nothing about the county. It just knows about it's supposed to charge the sales tax.
I tell you why I'd rather do it this way, Mr. Watson. You go back in your mind, sometimes it look like I lived in yesterday. But when you get mail with things, you don't
I
forget.
remember the credit card issue from a long time ago.
There you go. And I tell you what it was. There was a store, a gas store, a filling station in Macon. And I had to call Miss Buddy's sister, what's her name, Kathy? She called me, the highway department man wanted me to come up there. He was mad and hot with me. And I was driving my father's old car. And I looked down, the fuel about empty on it. So I was in Macon when she called. I got the call. Well, I called here, she told me. And I put $3 worth of gas in it. And I started to hit that interstate. He said he wanted me there by noon. I said, there ain't no way, this thing will make it. My sister worked out here, school assistant. I wish she had a new car. I went out and got her car. And I got back and Macon, looked down, and that little old thing didn't have much gas in it. I got $5 worth of gas in her car, went to Atlanta, came back, and lo and behold, we went to federal court. I thought I was using the county card on both purchases, but I used my master charge. I used my master charge on the $5, and $3 went on the county card. And what they were charging, I was putting fuel in the family's car. I was using the family's car, and I went to federal court for $3. Mr. Watson cackled. He said, "That's why I didn't use mine. I knew something was going on."
I told y'all in the very beginning somebody was going to do that, remember?
With the federal court for $3.
I told you they was gonna do that.
And I wasn't reimbursed for my trip there and back. In fact, I went there, and in 7 days from the time I got there, Maryland Whipple Road was paved. You remember that, Mr. Watts? That part of it was in your district that time. You cut me loose on it. I went there and got everything set up. 7 days we were in there, and we were paving in the wintertime. But the highway commissioner was gonna chew me out. That's what he had me there for, and he chewed me. But we went on anyhow, because we paved in the wintertime.
Why don't we just
Well,
simply open up another account?
That's all I want to do. I want another account there.
At
What
Home
I was
Depot. I thought we
It
had.
is easy
Well,
if that
what
happens.
I'm referring to is not the commissioners having a credit card, but the county holding one. But it doesn't matter to me because I'm sure that credit card would present a problem with sales tax because their computer doesn't account for it.
Okay. But just to move it to this place, what we got.
I
at that
thought we
place.
had one, we bought it the cheapest place. In other words, we just buy it low regardless of what the price is. Is that right?
Yeah, God, don't send me around talking about lower prices. No,
Well, why don't we just simply open one up at Home Depot?
that's what I'm asking.
It's just a commercial account, you have to use a purchase order.
Have to use what?
Purchase order.
Well, you call here and get the number.
It's like Lowe's.
Yeah, that's why we call here and all that.
And if you're at Lowe's, if you're at Home Depot, you use any one you want to.
Well, you
Yeah,
go.
whoever.
FL, those kind of commercial.
I ain't going myself.
I know.
All right, you wanna make a motion to that effect?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Got a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Any more discussion?
Okay, and that is with the caveat that it will be done with a purchase order.
Yeah, cool.
With a purchase order number, yeah. You gotta do everything with purchase order number.
They gotta keep up with
When
it.
you call the vote, I'm for it, I'm voting on
With
it.
commercial.
All right.
All right, how you vote? Yes.
Yeah.
All looks okay. All right, 2013 landfill account.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I know the, State Bank.
Won't go and get through the phone call before we stop this, and we'll go on to the next. Planning and zoning.
That's okay, I just wait.
Kind of do discuss, he's already discussed it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
What I want to do is that the landfill, we have a landfill fund at State Bank, and we have a landfill fund at our Sun Trust Bank. And we got the check, it's $90,000, it's $90,000. And I would like to open up an account at Dutton Bank here in Jeffersonville.
Second that motion.
All right,
Hold on just a minute,
any more discussion?
Mr. George.
I'm going to get through your business on the phone, and then we'll take up the county business.
I'm talking about, the motion been second?
Yeah. All right, go ahead and get through with the phone call, and then we'll take up the county business then.
The chairman's permission on, I can do the P and Z stuff that's non-personnel in about 30 seconds, if that's all right.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Part of that tab were 3 suggestions on P and Z. I came last week and found that P and Z had been moved to the tax assessor's office. Given the code and how the jobs are, I'd like to suggest that P and Z be under the direct oversight of the county clerk, because P and Z is in essence the baby of the Board of Commissioners. I also think we need to have somebody in the clerk's office solely responsible for the planning and zoning issues. Just one person. We can give them a template and train them. We don't want to miss any more dates. And the part, Mr. Bond's correct, we discussed, either we fix our code or we fix our planning commission. And part and parcel of that is the licensing department. That is on our business fees tab, business occupation tax. Under the code, that goes with planning and zoning. So if we pick someone in the clerk's office to handle the P and Z, they would also handle the business permitting process.
Tamaya, you want Tamaya
She's
now?
already doing it.
And understood all that. My job to make, but my
Make a
recommendation is
motion to
put P and Z back here.
At least right now, I got another, make her handle it right now temporarily. I got something else.
Okay, back to what I was talking
All
about.
right, hold on, we're in something else.
Oh, okay,
We're coming back.
okay.
All right, y'all wanna make a motion to that, one of y'all? Or what? Hey,
So move, Mr. Chairman.
What we doing?
We're gonna put P and Z responsibility to, Ms. Tamaya.
In the clerk's office.
We're gonna
On a temporary basis.
Yeah, temporary basis. Thank you.
Temporary, when you say temporary, not specified, how long?
I don't know how long, I'm gonna have to discuss with the board or something.
What judges like to say is until further order of this commission, possibly, Mr.
Yeah,
Bond?
that's fine.
Put something in there to pertain.
Yeah, but I think that defines temporary, but until
Until we
further order.
reconcile the code and the.
All right, we got a motion, read that motion, you get all that going?
I do. To
Read
designate
it out.
P&Z responsibilities to Mr. Mighty Kemp on a temporary basis.
Until something, what, how'd you word it?
As you say, until further order of this commission. And if
Until
Mr.
further
Bond
order
would,
of the commission.
Mr. Bond would accept one suggestion, we also put the licensing department in there, Mr. Bond, since it rides with P and Z underneath the code.
That's fine.
You're including
Okay.
that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
include it in the motion,
Any
please.
more discussion? How you vote? Yes.
Who seconded it? I think that's,
You seconded it, didn't
I didn't second nothing.
I
I
make the
did.
motion.
I thought you did.
you did.
Ms. Bond one made
I wouldn't even
motion.
mind.
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bryant, now you got time, let's go.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the $90,052.30 that come from SunTrust Bank to be placed in Dudley Bank here in Jeffersonville for the landfill account.
Second that motion.
All right. Any more discussion?
Okay, as I understand that, it's gonna require a check from our state bank account to them because the money's already been transferred.
The money already, the check is already here. See, that 90,000 came, that money, that's it already here. But now state bank, so they got $28,208 in there,
Okay.
you see.
It's supposed to be in the state bank. How come it already?
No,
there?
it was all going to SunTrust Bank because we had a whole bunch of accounts still at SunTrust Bank.
Y'all done closed them,
they're
ain't
all gone.
They just closed them.
They're all
And so
in
when they
the
got
state
that,
bank.
when they got that check, I told them that I would like to open up that account and have that landfill account be
You
going
told
down
them, you
here.
didn't wait for us.
Huh?
You told them.
That's why, but see, that I told them hold the check.
We done called it. He done testified. We got it.
Just Mr. Bond,
jumped the gun.
yeah, Mr. Bond, let me straighten this chairman out.
Look here, when you put my, I'll be on your side, put my blackboard.
I'll put it back there, thank you. But see.
Go ahead, all right, we got a motion, we got a second. Vote for it.
No, I wanna straighten you out right now.
Well, straighten me out if you
I
can.
had them to put it on the agenda and told them to hold that check. Don't you see it on the agenda?
I've seen 200 landfills, but I
Just
don't think about holding those checks.
I told them to hold the check in this office here until the board approved that if we gonna put it down there, or either if the board does not approve, then we can put it in the bank.
Well, we
If
apologize,
we
Mr.
get the
Bryant.
check anyway, all
We
of
done
that
let you go.
automatically transferred over to state.
No, it wasn't supposed to
Haven't
automatically be
it?
transferred
How come we got
over.
a check?
No, it wasn't
Put
supposed
them
to.
all in check.
That's right.
Didn't y'all come over to state bank?
Every check didn't go to, every check didn't go to the state bank. Look at you, look
How
at,
come y'all
look.
didn't bother?
They told that one.
Told them to hold it, okay. All
All
right,
right,
we got a motion, got a
the
second.
board's instructions.
Huh? Say what
I
now?
said to Mr. Bryant, countermanded the board's instructions.
You wait today?
We got, I want to put on the agenda.
Wait a minute, we got a motion off, we got a
We
second.
passed that.
Yeah,
Let me
but
wake up.
We ain't passed.
Motion to
Okay.
transfer this account to
Open it, bank it then.
The bank of Duck.
I
Hey,
second
vote,
that.
one
I know I second.
Okay, the landfill, in the landfill account, you know what we were getting from Jones County?
Yes.
It was in SunTrust Bank, so we moved all the county, so I asked for that $90,000, what check we got in there, the open up account down there at the bank.
and told them to hold the check.
And I told them hold the check till the board make a decision.
The bank down here in Jefferson.
You're right.
Mr.
All right.
Bond, second.
How you vote? Yes. I'm not gonna vote against it, but I'm gonna stand, cause I promised these folks, all these folks to just stand along one thing, and I done called them and told them.
Well, I don't care what you promised these
I ain't
folks.
problem, but I ain't voting on it now.
I don't
I
care,
ain't gonna break my word.
but I ain't
That's
asking
that.
about that. I'm gonna tell you this here. I don't care if you don't never vote for it. These people that we need a bank here in Jeffersonville. I don't
We
care
need
if
a
you don't
bank.
never. I don't care if you don't never
You
vote
need
for
a
it.
bank.
We
That
give.
didn't pass. How'd you
We
vote
give
for
things,
fraud?
everything here.
That's
Talking about
enough.
getting one or
That's
two.
two.
Well, then you the one start. You the one start.
I'm starting, I'm finishing.
You the one start.
What was the vote, Mr.?
3-2.
3-2, I didn't vote, I abstained.
3-2.
What?
Mr. Bryant, Mr. Watson, Mr. Bond, yes. Mr. Fowler abstained, Mr. Floyd, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right,
You see.
now what other business?
I like,
Executive session?
I would like to put on the agenda, the road superintendent. He's here.
Got a motion to put, got a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any discussion of that? How you vote, yes?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to put on the agenda, the fire department, what they came in here and told about the people that one day or 2 days, the 20,000, if you put 2 people on per day, it'd be $40,000 a year. I want to put that on the agenda because we both had looked at this here and we told we gonna get back with them today on this meeting.
That's what we said.
That's what we said.
I second his motion.
All right?
Now, and
Any more
another,
wait a minute, you got discussion of this? How you vote? Yes.
and Mr. Chairman, I would like to put on the agenda to re-elect the planning and zoning board for Twiggs County.
All right, got a second of that?
Second.
Any discussion? Yes.
Just check, change the word to reappoint.
Reappoint, that's what I meant, but reappoint.
Well, you're gonna have to set it back up.
You say
Remember, we did away with that.
You say reappoint, do you mean the same people who were on
No,
there?
you have the opportunity to reappoint who you want to.
No, I've got to find, I'm fine with that, I want to make sure that we aren't getting appointed there.
This is technical, but we did away with the P and Z board about 8 months ago, officially around this table. So not reappoint, we gotta recreate.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, recreating, in order to create the board, then we gotta appoint somebody. What I said.
Naturally, yeah.
I seconded it.
But recreate first.
Yeah, recreate,
If that's what you wanna do.
yes.
All right,
And,
I
I
got a
want,
motion to put on, we got a second, how you vote? Yes.
Sure, we put it on, yeah.
and, I need Miss Francis Steele to come in here and, advise us how the timesheet are being recorded. Because when we have a pay period, they have to sign the time, have to send them in on a Wednesday, you have to put on there Thursday, Friday, and if the people didn't work, that's what we've been doing for years and years, since we changed the thing, that's what we've been doing. They fill the timesheet out, because they want the timesheet in on a Wednesday, when we left from we were doing all the timesheet here, when we left, went to contract, them folks said they have to have it in at a certain time in order for them to get that money. So that's what's going on. And I want her to come in and explain to it. That's why we have to put the time sheet. It be 2 or 3 days before you know what.
2 or 3 days, right?
Before you what? The time sheet.
Paying in advance.
They get paid for them days. Because when they went contract with these young people to set up, you can explain.
I agree with what you do is saying is basically you're forced to falsify your timesheet, is basically what you're saying. I do all of our timesheets at the road department. I keep up everybody's timesheet personally myself. And what I do is say we had to turn our timesheets in this morning, I have to write everybody in for tomorrow and Thursday also. If they stay out on the next timesheet, I write in the day that they stay out. If one of them calls in sick, I have to write in that they're called in sick and put on their next timesheet so she knows to take it out. You're made, the way the timesheets are now, you're made to falsify your timesheet.
That's what
What
they
do you
do.
suggest?
Thank one remedy.
That's it.
You pay a week in advance. When he leaves, collect that week's paycheck.
Because when they went contract, those people asked for the whole time sheet.
They
In
want,
order,
yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
In order to be here, they got to have them time sheet, and we got to fill out
Yeah.
those time sheet and give them to them.
They have always
Once
done.
before, we was behind, they held a week at one time, and now they went ahead
Yeah.
because of the contract.
Yeah. Because of the contract, 'cause we have some time sheet here where the people that mean I want to make every kind of employee, every employee has to turn in time sheet 2 days before they ain't at work. Every time sheet has to be turned in 2 days before they work. And so now I don't have to have Ms. Steele to come in here.
There's
So you-
another,
so
there's
you can
another
take that
way
off,
that
Mr.
could be
Chairman.
handled. We could simply pay through the time they have worked and then the remainder of the week goes on the next pay period.
But I don't like that.
That
Would
is
be-
right, I hadn't thought of that.
Best plan to put it.
That is the way of doing it.
Well, see,
About that.
well, see, in other words, we ain't had no problem. We've been doing this for years.
Yeah,
We've been doing this for years, but we ain't had no problem. We ain't had no problem. We gonna create a problem, cause the people got schedule set up that money every 2 weeks. And then not wait another 2 weeks before they can do this and do this here. It gonna cut those people light bill, utility bill, it gonna cut them.
A bunch of people are living paycheck to paycheck. A bunch of
That's
people
what they're
living
doing. They're from paycheck. We've been doing this for year in and year out and years and years and years. And those people start up their bills to be paid according to how we pay them. And I don't and I don't want to see that be changed. But boy, that's my opinion. I don't want to see it be changed. I don't want to see it be changed. What I like to see be changed, leave the contract alone and let us do like what we used to do. Don't contract it out. Let us do like we used to do. We had people filling out these here time when they turn the time sheet in, we get them all their money on a Friday. That's what we were doing. So let's go back to that before we start giving those people 8 days on this pay period instead of giving them 10 days. And then you give them 12 days on the next pay period when they've been set up for years and years and years according to how they pay their bills and stuff.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. God almost.
Number two.
No, you done made a payroll. Another question while we're discussing with you. I think I heard right. 16, that big truck hauls 16 cubic yards.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
60 yards.
That was the main thing I wanted to get over to you.
What, that dump truck?
That can.
Yeah, 18 to 20, yards, man.
18, 20 tons, 16
Tons.
cubic yards. It's like 15.9 some odd, 16 square yards or what it is, cubic yards. I think.
Cubic yard, yeah. Okay.
Now where's my tractors?
We're gonna have to do on the yardage because we ain't got a scale we win there.
Y'all,
What-
Mr. Bryant, y'all should be getting some more bids from these folks. Y'all should already have some bids from these
I ain't
folks.
seen them bid for them tractors.
From who?
Grass cutter tractors.
Lasters, Cullens, and Walker Roads. I know you should be getting some bids from
We
them.
got the thing on?
I'll definitely find out. Cause I know I talked to D. Cullen, Andy at, what is his name? Andy Ward at Walker Roads, and I talked to a gentleman, Lanceman Tractor. They all should be getting y'all bids.
You're not specifying brands,
No, sir. No, I mean, what I specified is I want a 70 horsepower tractor at the PTO. That'll run our bush hogs and that'll run them bat wings. A 70 horsepower.
and
at
you're
the
not
PTO.
getting into two-wheel or
I
four-wheel.
got some.
No, sir. Everything there was done in two-wheel drive. 'Cause if you got 2 or 3 tractors together, one of them just gets stuck, the other can pull it out. If you get
Oh, I
four-wheel
agree.
drive, that causes me more problems, more stuff to tear up.
Oh, the 4-wheel drive cost you, I know it's more expensive.
It's not that much more expensive, but it's that much more that can tear up if something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that much more things that can happen to it. So the less plain Jane you can get, the better off we are on that.
Yeah, with several drivers driving it, you know, that's one thing, killer machine. All your tractors, they got rear view mirrors on them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And tell them one thing, just pass that out to them. Make sure they don't wave people by when they're cutting grass. You cutting, don't let them take responsibility of waving that person by them. If he's got a line of traffic, let him pull off the road, but don't give him signals.
Don't be directed.
No, if you see somebody passing and have an accident, first thing you say, well, he directed me.
He told me to come.
He told me to come by and then.
All right, you new employees at work, all of them?
Yep.
How about Mr. May?
Yeah.
I haven't heard, I talked to Mr. May last night, and right now, he just, at that point, he just told me, he said, Bud, there's no way I can leave and come over there for $13 an hour. He said, there's no way. He said, I'm making $15.60 now, right at $16. He said, ain't no way I can leave.
Why was he wanting to leave to start with?
He told me, he said 14 would probably get him here, but no more.
But why is he wanting to leave?
Just wanting to get back around home, get better insurance or something. Is what he's
Where is
telling
he at
me.
now? He's not around here.
CarMax, is it CarMax? what's
I
that?
mean,
One of them killed them, no.
It's someone who's
killed
one of
them,
the Carolyn plants.
Wilson County.
Right, yeah, over Wilson, so I don't have no idea exactly where it was at.
Okay,
So,
but the rest of it working all right?
oh,
Well, see, I talked with him one day, last Thursday, Friday. He told me that he wanted to get old people, notice that, that he will be leaving.
but
And I told him, I said, look, we have a policy that I said, we got you started at $13 an hour. I said, but I would try to get you from $14 to $15 an hour about in 3 months. I said,
Right.
but we have a policy, and he said that would be fine. That's what he told me.
I'll say, he didn't say that to me.
Well, see,
Yeah,
that
I
was
was
the-
under the same impression that he told me,
Yeah.
I got to give him a notice. is what
Yeah,
he told me.
and he told me he had to give him a notice, and I told, cause he said he get paid on Thursday, so he gonna tell him last week or something about this Thursday would be his last day. That
Right.
way he was telling me. And so, you know, hey,
I talked
Is
to
he
him
aware
about
of
that.
all the benefits that the county gives?
Yes.
I informed him of the benefit that the county
If
get.
I'm not mistaken, he come by and filled out all the paperwork, didn't he?
Yeah,
I thought he did.
and so,
He told me he did.
The
yeah,
county's
so,
got some great benefits that
Yeah.
not many employers have.
If we could get a retirement, we'd be all right.
yeah.
I'm working on some plans of looking
But,
into
I
that.
would sure,
Now, I tell you what,
but, I would sure like to have him.
Yeah.
But I would sure like to have him.
So he's a real good mechanic.
He's
I
a
mean-
good, he's a hell of a good mechanic. I really like to have him. I really would like to have him. And so, I don't know whether I don't know whether the board will give him 14, starting out at 14.50, that he didn't, I guess you're right, you. But I really like to have him, because what we looking at going to separate the, have the employee working here and have over here, that we won't have them all together. And so that's what I'm looking at, because he's a hell of a good mechanic. And so, I can
That's what you need
understand.
out there, a lot of good mechanics.
Say what now?
A service truck. If we gonna get a mechanic, we'll
Talking
get
about
one back
full
for, we
employee.
need a service truck. Most definitely, that's what we do.
I'm of the opinion we need to go to 2 crews.
That's what, yeah, I would like to see
Absolutely,
that.
because that
I would like
worked
to
the
see that.
best I've ever seen.
I would like to
I've
see
been
two
in the
crews.
county a long time.
One of the biggest thing is like what I just said, being a service truck. He's talking about 2 mechanics.
Yeah,
Basically, you got a mechanic that stays here at the shop, but as far as going out on that road,
Yeah.
just grab a little milk crate with his tools, and that's what he runs with. And then this one is stuck here because he ain't got the tools, because this one here's got it. So, I mean, a service
You
truck.
ain't got no truck out there with an air compressor and all that?
No,
we never had them here.
ain't never had one.
County has always accepted used junk from the sheriff's department and from one of the others.
Yeah.
We need to get the right kind of stuff.
I've got a couple trucks over there now, they got cushions sitting on them.
We got one screw.
Cushions.
and another little one there with one eye gone.
Door the seats are so wide out, that's that cushions.
Well, we
You
need to
can't
get
hold
that.
it.
Now, we have that splot, it take effect when? March 4 took this month? It's for maintenance, it's for maintenance,
For roads.
for roads and stuff, roads. And so we have that, cause we just set for that. We can use some of that,
It needs to
money.
be looked into.
we can use that money to get vehicles and whatever that we need.
Assuming that fellow that's saying he can't come over, assume he comes, how many people would be employed in the roads department, including himself?
Including myself, would be,
16.
14, 15.
And
How many?
if two were supervising and if 2 were, mechanicing, then that would give a crew of 5, 2 crews of 5, plus a supervisor.
A working supervisor.
Yes,
That's what-
on the
yeah,
job.
You work, don't you?
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
When you weld another morning
I
like that?
man my poor hand, I beat pins the other day with that sledgehammer just harder than any of them.
Well, he works, but he's so busy doing other things, he can't stay with the crew.
No, you
Somebody's
can't do
got
that.
the crew.
Man, I dread that time when that equipment comes. You just run, then you get all bound up. What did I didn't do?
You're right.
Yeah, mercy.
But yeah, I would definitely, like I said, a service truck with an air compressor would help so much for air compressor and welder, you just couldn't even imagine.
We used to have 2 mechanics down there in the shop, Danny Sanders and Jerome, we need to have two
I
mechanics.
don't have a problem with two of them, but what I'd like to have is two on the job
On the job,
supervisors,
yeah.
not running off for parts, on with the crew.
Well, that's what we can do.
Okay. Thank you, bud.
All right. Any other questions, give me a holler, and I'll let y'all know something on the.
Well, look here,
Call them folks and get us some bills.
I called just a minute, so they should know how.
Give us a service truck bid while you're at it.
Okay, look and let me.
Hey, and with service truck like that, I'm telling you, since the economy collapsed, everybody in back going now, you can find some awful nice bargains on trucks and vehicles now.
Yep.
I mean, great bargains. Check with the banks. Yeah.
And so I get back with you. I'm asking for a little more increase from trying to get him in.
That work. Thank y'all very much.
All right, fire department, what y'all think about this plan?
I make a motion for discussion, Mr. Chairman. About the fire department for 2 days
I'll second the motion
at
for discussion.
$40,000 a year. Okay, okay. He second.
For discussion.
For discussion.
I
We-
vote yes.
You know what we told the EMA director that he told us that we told we gonna take a look at it, everybody get a good chance to look at it, we'll come back at this meeting and decide what we wanna do. He pointed out that if we use two per day, it'll cost us $40,000 a year. That means that you will have, 2 firemen one at this station, one at that station. And
Would
so-
they alternate around the county?
Yeah, they be alternated around the county. They be alternated around the county. That means that you will have 2 in your district. You have
During
one
business
every,
hours,
during
right.
business hours. You have one in your district every day. You have one in your district every day. Instead of,
The negative being it's not a full, 144 hour.
it's not, no, it's not, it's not.
It's be in daytime, one be at night.
It be at daytime, not be at night.
It'd be about 1/5 federal.
You wanna hold up a while?
We could get something to play, we need some firefighters to start.
That was about the same amount of money we had budgeted.
Yeah, we budget 20,000.
Oh.
Cause we had the $5,000 for each fire chief. And so, the 20,000 would take up one day.
Well, let's go with what we got budgeted before we go to that 40,000 deal, till we find out something. I'm thinking of something else, the reason I'm bringing this up. You know, we're supposed to operate, and I think I mentioned before, but I mentioned it to, the auditor, and I gotta call her again. We need to know what it would take for us to go to that annual system. Because the law requires it, that's what we're supposed to do. What it means, we borrow enough money to carry us through September or October. That's all we do, but we borrow the same money every year. But to get on that system, one of those years, in addition to what we're borrowing, we're going to borrow enough to carry us on through the end of the year. And even though we have the money coming into Neesmith's office at the 15th of September, we had to put that money in an account and start drawing off that on January 1st. And we get back on an annual basis so that we actually be looking at good numbers. I mean, because things weren't supposed to happen like that. That's tricking your books. That's all that is when you do things like that. It gives an impression we're in better shape than we are, and we're not. Because we're just trying to work out of this situation we're in. And in the toughest part of working out of it, that we got money that we have to spend and prove. We got to do something with the roads. And we didn't have enough people out there to run a road crew. I mean, we weren't doing anything. So now we're addressing that.
Ain't got nothing to work with.
That's what I'm trying to say. But now we're addressing that.
Yeah.
So that's gonna add cost, but we still gonna have to do this. To put our accounting back where it should be, and I wanna ask and give her a call, you understand what I'm saying, don't you? Ask her if she give us some side figures along when she present. She's supposed to present us some numbers, I thought they'd come in today.
I ain't heard nothing from her.
Ain't, well, she getting to it.
All right, on that fire department thing, what you wanna do now?
I suggest we go to what we got budgeted, 20,000 now, and look at that other
You
later.
gonna make a motion out of that?
I so move.
Got a second?
Second, Chairman.
Any more discussion?
Now, is that gonna be the one person per day, rotate,
Yeah.
What we got budgeted is,
20,000?
25.
$20,000 for fire chief now.
That's half, that's right.
Alright, now if you cut the, you were already paying one fire chief that, so that takes back to 15,000.
No,
That'll
no,
make,
you're not.
that'll make three.
No,
You
you're
pay-
not.
You paying one over yonder at Ball Fair,
What about?
Ball Church.
Look here, we only had one fire chief. That's all we had.
But he's paid,
They
isn't he?
paid
But
5,000 a
he
year.
paid 5,000 a year, but what they,
All we
what,
got is budgeted is 20,000.
Well, right, but see, when-
15.
when the EMA director come in and explain to us that we would get the same thing for one person, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day for $20,000, we didn't do away with the fire chiefs. Then you listen to
That
what
he
he
had,
said?
he had that in there?
Yeah. He said the money that we are spending now, we could you take that and have a person at the fire department 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. And go from district 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's round the clock. And be there for 8 hours during the day because they said what? Most of your fires start what? During the daytime. He
Early
said,
morning.
and so he said that most of your fires is during the daytime because everybody be home in the evening time.
That coffee pot on, that old space heater burning.
Plugged in, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what he came in and said. So, but you got the money,
So
but
we
you ain't
cut
got.
out the fire chief position.
That's what he come in and said. We won't have no fire chief. That's what he said. You go back and look at the tape, and that you will have a person every day in District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4. They rotate and be there for 8 hours a day.
That's true, he did say that it would eliminate all the fire chiefs.
That's what he
We
said.
only have one paid now, so, his motion should include, it would, if we're gonna stay with the 20,000, but it eliminates the existing fire chief.
Yep. I think we need a county fire chief to be all over all of it.
I do too.
Oh,
Is the
Well, somebody else take the
Does
lead on that.
the EMA director serve in
Yeah,
that
that
capacity?
idea in my head.
Mr. Stokes was, he was over all the fire chiefs. If we had 4 fire chiefs, Mr. Stokes was over the 4 fire
Is
chiefs.
Mr. Bryant over
As of now, yes, because he took Mr. Stokes' position and
That was not specified.
It wasn't
in the hiring
specified?
agreement. It was only part-time
EMA.
EMA chief,
Yeah,
period.
okay.
So
Well,
we have no county fire chief, but part of Sammy Stokes'
that fellow
title
was named the
was
other day, that lieutenant.
EMA director and county fire chief.
all right.
Should we change Mr. Bryant's, job description to that?
Yeah, make him, put him in his responsibility. If you got him working, let him take the responsibility.
I would keep the EMA and the fire department separate.
Well, who is the overall fire chief?
And that's
We
right.
ain't got that.
How do you get it?
I got one fire chief.
We gonna take application for it, but that man he talked about the other day, that Lieutenant Hart, Willie Hart, grand boy, he'd be perfect for it. He's had all the training that make a fire department that can give.
You got 2 of them for making. 2 additional.
Yeah,
One of them is a Marcus.
You
And
got
we got the
Marvin,
other gentleman's name.
yeah, you got that Thompson boy down yonder, but you got this lieutenant up there, I think, it went through everything they can provide up there.
Well, I think the EMA is closely related to the fire departments, and I think, our EMA chief should have the same title as the former one, which is EMA and fire chief.
I think you ought to keep that separate.
Keep it separate, you know.
I think we did
Pay a
have-
different salary. That's the same thing.
What
Do
is,
you all wanna go with the program that he presented, the 40,000?
whatever y'all wanna do.
Well, I have a question on that, though. Who coordinates all the fire departments?
Yeah, you all gotta get in on it. Let him do it.
All right, is there a motion on the floor?
Yes. They paid one.
I withdraw that, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion that,
You
We put-
made my effort right, you in, I
Yeah.
voted on that.
no, I'm withdrawing it. We go with the plan that's submitted and let the young man who submitted that plan handle it. That's
Yours was to fund.
20,000, I know,
20,000,
but I'm
yeah.
going to what he submitted, which was 40. If you're gonna get 4 of them to cover, that's what you need.
But who coordinates the fire chiefs, these that are moving around?
The guy that, Mr. Bryant, who's doing that.
Somebody
now,
gonna
let him
But
have
he
it.
doesn't have that title, we need to.
We can
that
give him a
title.
title, all the title is his name. You know, give him a title, let him go to work, he's doing it now. Somebody's doing it. But whatever we do, let's do it, I'll postpone it.
Do you have the one you want as a fire
Time's
chief?
running out.
No, I don't care. Whoever-
The only one I
whoever-
want was the one you recommend, that Hartford.
Yeah.
You know, he been certified, he knows everything that goes on about everything. On the do with fire department.
Well,
Alright.
I suppose Mr. Bond's motion, I'll make one regarding the making the EMA director also the overall fire chief.
You wanna add that to the motion? That suits you, Mr. Bond?
No, I made it just like I made it, somebody else had to add something to it, I'm not gonna add
Since we apparently need additional information, I'll make a motion that we table this matter until we have, more information for decision.
Well, I would drop my motion then if that, we need to take all the time that we need so that we'll all be on the same page.
We need to know what's the difference
What?
in far as grant wise, what the EMA director can get and what a fire chief can get. There might be some separation there, we might.
it.
I don't know this now,
I'm
I'm just
for
thinking.
interlocking
I know.
myself.
Well,
Your funding is gonna set up to your whole system as a whole,
Yeah,
not
well-
like you talking about, they gonna come together.
Well, I would love my motion and show that every, I don't know how long you gonna take for us to get this information. I know we had said we gonna, 2 weeks, we'll come back and make a decision and
It's in
everything.
30
What's
days,
second?
let's try to check everything out in 30 days
All
and
right.
make a decision.
You got a motion, I second that motion, let's move on.
Alright, so you're gonna do away with George then?
Yeah, he's already did, he can get a
Yeah,
second or
Well,
call.
I'd like one more that probably won't pass, and that is that we make the EMA director also the overall countywide fire chief.
Let's wait 30 days till we get
That's
that
my
information.
motion.
We ain't get the 30 days yet.
We ain't done that. Your
I
motion
realize
said
that.
30 days, wait,
Mr. Flawed motion for 30 days.
that's what you wanna do?
And I got a second to it. You can call
Let's
it.
vote on that first then.
Okay, I'll accept the 30 days.
Before we take any kind of action?
Yeah.
How long did you wanna put? You said you accept 30 days.
I don't know. Seemingly, for the particular issue that was presented previously, we had enough information to decide yes or no on that. But we're bringing in the fire chief and muddying the waters, so to speak.
Filibustering, that's what it's called.
No, it's called closing up loose ends.
No. Go ahead, Mr.
Well,
Lowe.
anyway,
We can
the
get-
reason I can't say is, first of all, as you know, I voted against part-time EMA chief.
We need a full-time,
Because
we need a
it
full-time
needs to be a
EMA
full-time
man.
job.
Okay, the motion is proposed for 30
These
days.
hurricanes and tornadoes and house fire and all that don't work on a part-time basis.
Mr. Chairman, the motion is for the 30 days. He put
30
it
days
there.
extension,
Got a
and we get all
second?
the information.
30 days come, we don't be there, we can extend it again.
Okay, you got a second, you second it, right?
Yes.
Any more discussion? How you vote? Yes.
Abstain.
Abstain, one abstention.
What other issue we got?
All right, now we got another motion with Mr. Watson to put the EMA and the fire chief together.
No, but the EMA director also be the overall countywide fire chief.
There again, you got another part-time position.
That's my motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, got a second? Motion failed and lack of a second. All right, what else we got? That's it, ain't it? Except for that.
They quitting to change the name.
Jason. Long time ago.
Well, see, we used to have a Twiggs time then.
Tidwell. Okay,
Oh, okay.
Tidwell.
Tidwell.
Where you from?
Originally from me.
Okay.
I knew some Tidwell.
I know too, up yonder around where you at.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Well, off the Gulf Road, some of
You
the
remember
trees
Rick?
and all.
That's right.
Now that I'm worried, it's a tree surgeon. Not that I'm worried.
Yeah.
Okay, there was another drove of trouble down here around Mark Road and Dudley. You kin down there them?
No, I'm from the Lizella bunch.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll go into the next section.
Been in the news for this long time. Wow.
You live in
Man's
Macon
got
or
a
you?
gray hair on his head, so.
I don't know, yeah.
Can't do that.
Where you live at?
Live in Warner Robins.
Oh, okay. You still work out of the Conklin office?
I do.
Okay.
Moved over from Dublin.
All right. Got a motion to go into executive session. Who made it?
I did.
Second.
Who seconded it? Mr. Bryant? Any more discussion? All three reasons? How you vote? Yes.
Yeah.
No.
10 minutes out of 12. It was 4 minutes out of 12. That was one.
She couldn't tell me if you couldn't have fun, you would get mad. And that's the
All right, anybody want to make a motion to go?
I haven't been back for a long time.
That's all we got to do, ain't it, sir?
Yes.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Any discussion? How you vote? Yes. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Now, Mr. Attorney,